Folks, I watched this interview yesterday, and the information in here is just insane. What's going on in this country that you're not being told about? The media is not touching it. The government is very covering it up like crazy. The police, nothing. Nothing from the police. This will blow your mind. Check this out.
And this
Not
has been
anymore.
a huge wake up call of hold on a second. Sam, do you feel that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of proud Canadians that have had their pride debased because it's been revealed for the whole world to see that, as President Trump, in a very harsh way, has said, Canada doesn't have a functioning military. But the reason for the tariffs, I believe, and I'm told from within Canadian government sources, is unfortunately, President Trump is right. Canada cannot prosecute transnational organized crime. The US government, for at least 10 years, has been bringing intelligence to the Canadian police and saying, we know that Chinese triads set up in Vancouver and Toronto are running Western Hemisphere money laundering. So the TD Bank case, the Mexican cartels are distributors, but the Chinese triads set up in Canada under weak laws are funding. They're funding those loads before they go out. They're funding the logistics. The American government does not trust Canada Border Services Agency. It now holds back critical intelligence from the RCMP due to corruption concerns and due to broader concerns with Canada's systemic loopholes around the laws. So it is a fact that that is intellectually honest Canadians, or ones that are able to take the loving barbs of people like Mark Gahotas saying Canada's a great place, but don't be disillusioned. Its laws are simply non-functional, right? And this is not an exaggeration. This is what the American government is honestly pointing towards, that Canada, like Mexico, like Panama, has the same infiltration of crime issues. And I do believe there's a growing portion of Canadians that are taking it seriously, that facts like we don't have federal police in our ports in Vancouver, Halifax, Montreal. Organized crime has taken over and infiltrated those ports. Daniela, officials in Vancouver say 0.5% of all containers coming into the fourth busiest port in North America are searched. So it's open season for organized crime. And anyone that's doubting the intelligence of the Trump administration, that Canada, British Columbia specifically, is a major production and export node for fentanyl, all Canadians need to know this is true, right? So I do believe there's a dawning recognition among Canadians that we've just been sleepwalking through the dysfunction of our laws, and we need to wake up, or we will be, whether we like it or not, we've lost our sovereignty. We need to put some real laws in place.
Sam and Mark are heroes, Canadian and American. They're doing the job that, well, the police are hiding. So I got another clip here. Check this one out. It's just as crazy.
I want you to break it down. What do you mean by that?
Trump knows what's going on. The CIA knows what's going on. CISIS knows what's going on. The FBI knows what's going on. And the RCMP is so corrupted, they know what's going on, but they can't do anything. The problem is the CCP and organized crime is so embedded at the Globe and Mail, the CBC, the RCMP, OSFI, which is the banking regulator, that even if you wanted to prosecute this stuff, all these investigations get spiked when they go to the top. Now, Sam will vouch for me. Am I good friends with Premier David Eby? Sam?
Yes, you are. I can confirm.
Did I have a significant hand in him rising to political power?
Yes, you did.
Okay. As did you, Sam, because we exposed Christy Clark for the fraudster, money launderer type with the CCP that she is. So EB and I chatted on Sunday for 12 minutes prior to his address. And I said, there's a simple fix in this for you, Dave. And he said, what's that? I said, as you know, federal Canada has done jack shit for you or British Columbia. And he said, no truer words have ever been spoken. So the feds have done nothing, zero, to support BC on this issue. Nothing. And EB, you can come out and your best to verify exactly what we talked about. And I said, the fix is you, Dave Eby, Premier of British Columbia, go to Trump in a loud way and say, you know what, sir? You're 100% right of what's going on up here. And we as Canadians need your help. We need your anti money laundering software. We need your KYC software to find where all these money launderers are, charge them, get rid of them, seize their assets so we can begin to clean up this mess. We have problems. We can't defend our border. We can't stop fentanyl. Just look at East Hastings. I mean, it's a mile of people who can't even function. I mean, we can't solve this mess, and we need your help. And helping us by putting on tariffs or restricting trade will just make things worse. So I am admitting, right, that you're right, and we have a significant problem that me, Dave Eby, as the Premier of British Columbia, I want to fix. It's not going to fix these things, stopping Kentucky bourbon from being sold to Canadians. That is the biggest kindergarten act there is. And I'm very, very, very disappointed in my friend. Very disappointed because it sends the wrong message. When, you're 280 pounds and you lose 50 pounds, someone says you look good, you're on a diet. But then when you go and lose 100 pounds, everyone's worried you have cancer. And Canada has cancer. It is terminally sick unless everyone admits we have a major problem. And part of getting out of a problem is admitting you have one. I mean, it's almost like alcoholism. They keep at the bottle like nothing's wrong, that we can cut rates, that the United States is picking on us, but you have no business, no military, no police force, no criminal authorities, no media that speaks truth to power. You have nothing. So this pause, if you will, Trump's going nowhere for 4 years. And I'm not a Trumper. I'm not a MAGA guy. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I am a truth to power speaker. I've been investigated up there. I've been detained at airports up there. This is Arctic Mexico. They've run me through the gauntlet. But the problems are very large and very easy to fix. But the first thing is everyone has to admit there's a huge problem. You can't just say, oh, it's 0.023 of 1% of fentanyl. If fentanyl is just the cover for what's really wrong. What's wrong is massive money laundering by the CCP on a huge, huge, huge scale. Fentanyl is just one part of it.
The next question I have for you is, when you say the hurricane's going to hit Canadians, does the everyday Canadian right now, are they feeling the effects personally of that money laundering? So how is it going to be the wake-up call for them when it's like, when is it going to hit them?
I'll start first, then Sam can go, but it all is going to begin and end with the shitbag currency. And the currency is now, let's just say, 144, but the country owns no gold. I know Correct. You're a gold bull. The country sold its gold at the low. The country wants to keep rates down, and everyone's walking on eggshells on the stupid tariffs. So I think it's very expensive for Canadians to travel. It's very, very, very inflationary there, yet the government keeps lowering rates. trying to think that lowering rates solves the problem. No, it's just a band-aid on a busted artery. I mean, the problem has to get solved from within, where they get after the money launderers and they get after the CCP criminals and rid them from the Canadian institutions, and just own up to what's really going on, rather than the bullshit you read in the Globe and Mail or the bullshit you read at Global. And by the way, Sam, when he was exposing this stuff,
Yeah.
Sam was bad for Vancouver Sun business. Sam was bad for global business because Sam's not captured. Sam speaks truth to power, unlike anyone up there in Arctic Mexico. So you can't employ him because the CCP says Sam's going to expose us. You get rid of this guy. Get rid of him.
Yeah. I'm just curious from a journalistic perspective, and because I have so many friends at the CBC, when you say China has that hold on CBC, are you talking advertising money, or does it run deeper than that? How does that work in your eyes?
Well, the Canadian government funds CBC, funds Globe and Mail, funds Global. I'll tell you a story. CBC wanted to do a documentary on me, a big one. And very high up person said they're going to come to Montana and interview me and the whole thing. And I said, honey bunch, you're just kidding yourself. This is never going to happen. Oh, no, no, no. I have approval. It's been approved at the highest thing. I said, fine. You go to the top guys, the top guys, and you say what you have in mind and say who it's been approved by. And before you come out here and before we get in the rev up, you find out if someone's going to spike it. And she calls me a week later and say the whole thing's been put off. So the RCMP is infiltrated, CBC is infiltrated, prosecutors are infiltrated, Globe and Mails, everything is infiltrated for the happy gas that either Trudeau or the CCP wants people to hear. I mean, it's the same old crap. And God bless Harper and all these other politicians and Morneau and everyone who's been before him. They're all in on it. They all know the joke. The country is controlled essentially by 20 families and the CCP. Everyone else is a serf. Everyone else serves at the hand of these people. So they're told what to think. They're told that we're a sovereign nation, that we know what we're doing, that we're being bullied by our big brother down south, the US, where they have a problem in Mexico, not Canada. It's like, wake up, people. Wake
Exactly.
up. Just wake up. Sam,
yeah, Sam, I think and I hope we are finally waking up. That's why I say it almost took this to wake us up, because we can't hide behind our Roots hoodies anymore and hide behind this mirage of, oh, we're the greatest. Everyone wanted to live in Canada at one point. We're the greatest country in the world. It was the passport you wanted to own. Those days are long gone.
Well, look at what they did to the truckers. Yeah. Look at what they did to the truckers who were speaking out. They seized their bank accounts. So God forbid you speak out or protest or raise your hand and say this isn't right. They stole their bank account.
Sam?
In terms of what Mark is saying in his unique and concise, incisive style, look, you can take that to the bank. There's a leaked intelligence report called Sidewinder that says Canada is not uniquely targeted in corruption, but the level of Chinese influence in 3 to 4 urban centers in real estate is off the charts, and Canada is more open to control because the wealth of the nation is controlled in relatively few hands. So match that up to what Mark just said with serfs, and look, in nicer language, that's what's said. This is why I say, look, Panama Canal, Rubio goes down there, and very quickly, the Panamanian president says, we will not renew our Belt and Road deal with China, and we're looking at putting out these Hong Kong tycoons running the very same shipping entities that the U.S. military and Trump are concerned with. They are, this Sidewinder report said, set up in Canada. And to Mark's other points about, the RCMP not being able to deal with this, Daniela, I'm hearing from current and former high-level police officers that say, uh, you know, despite what the Globe and Mail or Daniel Dale at CNN are reporting about, 40 kilograms is it. No, Canadians have no idea the level of criminal money laundering
Yeah.
running through our cities that's connected to this. So that's the issue. I just want to add before we look, where do we go from here? What Mark is saying about a hurricane, that hurricane is going to hit us with 25% or more if we don't put a real fentanyl czar in place. That is someone with credibility that the US government, look, they're not going to be fooled if you put a Justin Trudeau office lackey in that position. They need someone that can assure the American government that the RCMP will work with the DEA if they want to put a wiretap on a triad boss or a cartel boss in Vancouver and Toronto, because it didn't happen before. The last point is, look, this US Canada strike force on organized crime, I believe the American government is going to want to see legal memorandums of understanding signed with Ottawa saying this isn't just pretty language to put off a tariff. This is some sort of joint laws between Canada and the United States where we will have, you working with the fentanyl czar. If the FBI and DA want to come up to Vancouver and bust one of these triad command control money laundering nodes, which, by the way, I'm afraid, I'll say it, some of these bosses are connected to funding of the Trudeau Liberals. I'll just drop that because it's true, and I believe the Trump administration knows it.
Daniela has a great channel. She's originally from Montreal. I'm putting the link in the description down below for the full interview. It's 44 minutes long. I'm telling you, you got to watch it. It's going to blow your mind. I'm telling you, there's just so much information in there that you're not getting anywhere else. Thank God for Daniela, Sam, and Mark.